Okay, thank you for joining us. This is a program regard to the deportation of family of Makinde residing in Ottawa, Canada. The woman who the husband is still in detention in Ottawa, and an attempt has been made by the Canada Border Service Agency to put me on the flight, but due to the health issue, the deportation was cancelled temporarily and the guy is still in detention. So today I given the opportunity to the wife to explain what the situation is, including the 3 kids, 2 Canadian citizens which they want to deport to Nigeria after their refugee application has failed. So I'm going to bring her in to explain what the situation is in Thank you once again. Without wasting your time, I will invite Mrs. Makinde to explain what the situation is. Hello, madam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening.
Okay. Because of time, I would like, for you to explain, what is your name, please, if you can explain to us.
My name is Adepeju Makinde.
And can you tell us when you came to Canada for the first time?
So I arrived in Canada with my husband and a 1-year-old girl on November 5th, 2017.
And so, which means you've been living in Canada with your family approximate how many years?
Yes.
How many years for now?
Approximately, it's going to be 7 years by November this year.
And how many kids you have?
I've got 3 kids.
Is any of them a Canadian citizen?
Yeah, like I said, I came in with just one child, which was 1 year old at that time. So I had 2 other children that are Canadian citizen.
Are you currently working in Canada?
Yes.
May you tell us where you work, please?
I work with Carries Disability, formerly known as Christian Horizons. We deal with people that are vulnerable, people that have special needs. So I work in like a group home settings, which we care, we give medication, we do all this hygiene routine, we take them out for programs, we do everything to make them included in the community.
So you work with people that have disability.
Yes.
And did you have a permit, like a work permit in Canada?
Yes, I have a valid work permit.
Up till when?
My work permit is going to lapse February 2015.
Okay, so madam, can you hear me very well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so you say you have a valid work permit, and another question I would like you to explain is, where is your husband at the moment?
Presently, my husband has been detained by a CBSA officer since 25th of June 2014. And presently, he has been detained at Ottawa Detention Center.
Is it related to immigration issue, or did your husband do anything wrong with the authority?
No, it's just based on immigration issues.
Where does he work?
He works at Amazon site as a loss prevention officer.
So he's currently have a work in Canada.
Yes, he's currently working in Canada before all those immigration issues started.
So does it mean that what is the situation with him? I learned that he was supposed to be deported on 27, and probably the flight was cancelled for health reason. Is that correct?
So what happened was we were told to report every Tuesday and Thursday, and then we went. The officer stated on our last meeting with him, which was on Thursday, that if he needed to communicate something to us, like if he needed to see us for a meeting on Tuesday 25th, he would let us know. So there was no communication that he wanted to meet with us. When we got to the CBSA office at Saint Laurent, we pressed the buzzer to sign in, just to go there and report for Tuesday. After we called our UCI number, we were told that there is a note on our UCI number that the CBSA officer wants to meet with us. So my husband went in and told me to go repark the vehicle, because at that point it was just parked in front of the office with an hazard light. So I went to look for a suitable parking. And before I was done parking, he called me that the officer wants to meet with me as well. So I went in. After I'd parked the car, I went in to meet with him and the officer. So the officer asked what preparations has been made for us, because we're leaving soon. So we responded how we have made preparations, how we're going to ship some of our stuffs through a shipping company back home. So, and then he asked, what else are we doing? I said, I placed some of our, it is so dramatic. Some of our,
Well, you try to, I know it's a very difficult situation, but
some of our
try.
belongings, that I placed it on Marketplace. So he told me to show him the listing. So I was still pressing my phone when he excused himself. He went out and then he came back in and told me to excuse him, that he needed to chat with my husband, that I should go back and wait for my husband in the car. So I went and waited for him in the car. After it was 15 minutes, I kept on calling. His line wasn't connecting anymore. I waited for over an hour, and that was when I realized he's been detained.
And that was when they prepared a ticket that he have to leave Canada.
On the 20th.
The time they wanted to send him out, they want to deport him alone. And what was your own situation with your family, with your kids then?
So what he told my husband, why he was handcuffing him, putting handcuffs on him, was that your wife is going to meet you in Lagos with your suitcase.
But there is no prior arrangement that your husband gonna leave at the day you people went for the regular immigration meeting or signing with the officer.
No, the only arrangement was made for 27th. The signing was Tuesday 25th.
Since this incident, have you or your family written any letter to your members of the parliament in Ottawa?
Yes, immediately that happened and I called, I couldn't reach out to him anymore. I ran to our MP's office to let them know what has happened, to let her know what has happened, because she has been helping me to follow up on my humanitarian and compassionate application.
So they are aware of the situation.
Yes.
Was any letter written to the Minister of Immigration regard to this incident?
Yes, there were 2 letters that was written to the Minister of Immigration copying our MP. The first letter was written for them to please allow the CBSA defer our application because we had a pending humanitarian and compassionate application that is almost 3 years, since 2021.
I think this is a kind of a little bit difficult situation, but I also learned that you people bought a house recently in Canada.
Yes, before all this issue started, we purchased a home, a property, on April 18th, 2024. So before all this whole issue started, it was less than 2 months that we bought the property. We only did that just to invest in the
In the
community,
country.
to invest in Canada, because we work so hard. My husband in a week works 80 hours. He does 2 jobs. We have never and will never rely on the social fund or the government fund. We work very hard. I
What
work
is the
very hard
situation
as
with
well.
the house right now?
So the house is just there.
And if the mortgage is not paid like maybe 2 to 3 months, will there be any problem, like bank taking over the house?
Yes, because we signed a contract to be paying bi-weekly.
Is it true that the immigration CBSA went to your working place and they asked your employer to stop you work?
Yes.
When was that?
The CBSA officer visited my workplace on the 28th of June 2024, informing them that I'm not eligible to work in Canada, that they should stop me from working, that even if I want to work, they should tell me to provide a new work permit. Immediately, my employer reached out to me. What was the problem? And I told them I had issues with immigration. So the next thing was a letter of termination of appointment, of employment.
But I read that the immigration officer told you that it was your fault to start having a baby in Canada when you don't have status. Is that correct?
Yes, when one of the meetings we had with the CBSA officer, he told us we can go back to work, that we had to stop working because we are going to be deported soon. After 1 week that we went back for another meeting with him, I pleaded with him. I said he should please try, at least, even if it is just one of us that has to go back to work. I said the kids.
Okay, madam, I think I understand the difficulty it is, and just to take a big breath and deep breath, and I will return back to you in a while. Okay, madam, you may continue. Said I understand how difficult it is with the situation, your husband being in detention and you with 3 kids and trying to find a solution what to do. But continue what you are explaining to me.
So I pleaded with him to at least allow us to, even if it is just one of us, to go back to work until the deportation day so that we can feed the kids and pay bills. And then he looked right into my eyes and said, I knew I had no status before I decided to be making babies, that I'm the one that inflicted suffering on my children.
So this is what the immigration officer told you.
That was what he told me. It
That
made
you
me
know
think.
you don't have a status in Canada, you start making baby. No, it's okay. The purpose of this interview is to, to let the Minister of Immigration know exactly what is going on within the grassroots, because the problem is that the regional managers of the CBSA does not give adequate briefing to the ministers in Ottawa. Had minister, because the minister I know, he's not someone that is rigid in terms of policy, because he's been NP for several years before he became immigration minister. He did not become immigration minister just by chance. It was on merit, because I know the minister of immigration during the campaign back in 2015. So the purpose of this interview is for you to have chance to echo your own side of the story as it is, because it will be very difficult in Canada for you to have airtime for any news agency to say things as it is. My organization, Ekens Foundation, what we do is we are an international petitioner that compel the states party to do compel them to bind by their international obligation. But as it is, I think the word used by the officer is inappropriate. And I also read that the officer told you it was a bad decision for you to buy a house in Canada, knowing that you do not have a status. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did that come to exist?
We told him that he should at
I'm
least
not hearing you well, please.
we told him that he should at least give us some time, that we just bought the property is less than 2 months. Give us a little bit of time to tidy up things and get the property so that we can purchase a property in less than 2 months, and we want to sell that. There is going to be a huge penalty. And he told us that we made a bad decision, that we keep making bad decisions just to remain in Canada, that we made a bad decision making babies, we made a bad decision purchasing a home.
During this period, do you have a lawyer facilitating your documentation during this refusal of application?
Yes.
Have the lawyer done anything within this period in order to, you know, like going to court, like kind of filing a judicial review?
The words from the mouth of the CBSA officer really got at me. Um, Based on my mental health issues that I have, and I've been on medication for over 5 years. I've been going for therapy as well. But when he looked right at me and told me that I failed my children, that triggered me. It triggered my mental health. I became so down. I became depressed. So my husband reached out to our legal advisor, which he filed a letter of complaint concerning what the CBSA, concerning the CBSA entrances, and how much damage that has caused to my mental health. But all that was gotten back was just like they apologize.
Okay. After the interview, I would like to have a letter of this complaint so we can prepare something to send to the attention of the Minister of Immigration and see what can be done. What do you have to pledge to the Minister of Immigration um, with regard to this matter?
So all I have just to say is to plead with the Minister of Immigration to please grant us compassion, maybe grant us based on compassion, even if not for us, for at least the little kids that are Canadian citizens that I had, ages 5 and 2 years old. These children are very young. Even the 1 year old I brought in turned 8 few days ago. She has never known anywhere as a home. She only knew Canada as a home. That if the Minister of Immigration can please temper justice with mercy and grant my family an opportunity to stay or continue living in Canada. And we would continue to do our very best to invest in the country and in our community.
Okay, but when is the next detention review for your husband?
His next detention review is July 4th, Thursday.
In Ottawa?
Yes.
Okay, so after this interview, I would like to go through the document to see we can see how we can get in touch with a lawyer that can assist while we will do whatever we can do to assist you. And the only thing I have to tell you is that you need to, if you are only in any condition with the CBSA, you need to keep maintaining it. But we will see what we can do and make sure that your case is being looked into, and to see what option you have for you and your kids, and what we can be able to do. So I thank you for giving your time explaining the side of your own side as it is, and you need to find a way to do a medical follow-up and take care of your kids. And let's see, because it's a long holiday, and after the holiday, by Tuesday, we will see um, what we may be able to do for you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. So as you can see, this is the situation as it is for family of Makinde, who has been in detention for some days, and that is the wife who, emphasized or went at large to elaborate her own circumstances while the husband is still in detention. And as I said, after the interview, we will have much time to go through the document to see what we can do. And at Ekens Foundation, we are pro bono friends of justice, uh, working on non-paid representative for rejected refugee and asylum seekers and those in detention. And we will see how we can assist the woman. Thank you very much, and have a nice day for everyone.